Today in this lecture we will talk about pinocytosis. Pinocytosis is also an active reabsorption process. It is also an active reabsorption process. As we have started discussing the urine formation by the kidneys, and we have discussed that in the urine formation process, initially there is filtration and then tubular reabsorption. Filtration occurs in the nephrons, blood is filtered and filtrate moves into the nephron tubules. After filtration there is tubular reabsorption. Some of the substances are reabsorbed into the blood, some substances are secreted, and that reabsorption can be passive or active. We discussed different types of active reabsorption. We talked about the primary active reabsorption and we talked about secondary active reabsorption. We also talked about secondary active secretion. All of those processes basically were part of tubular reabsorption and secretion. Now pinocytosis is also a part of tubular reabsorption, and it is also an active process. Now some of the substances, for example, a lot of substances were reabsorbed. Similarly, there are some proteins in this proximal tubule, and those proteins also need to be reabsorbed. So the process used for the reabsorption of proteins is pinocytosis. In this process, the proteins, they come in close contact with the tubule cells, and the tubule cells, they basically engulf them. Then a vesicle is formed. That vesicle move inside the cells. A lot of enzymes starts acting on the proteins and convert those proteins into their amino acids. Those amino acids are then secreted along the basolateral membranes. So pinocytosis is also an active process, and it is also a reabsorption process, but this is used for larger molecules like proteins, which cannot follow the carrier proteins for entry into the cells. So they form a vesicle in which a part of the cell surround the proteins, and they make the vesicles. Then enzymes act on the vesicles and break down the proteins into its different amino acids, and those amino acids are then secreted into the lateral and basal membrane, and they finally can go and take entry into the blood or the interstitial fluid. And this process is known as pinocytosis, and it is also important in the urine formation process. Thanks a lot for watching the video.